Yes, guys, it's Nearly Last and welcome. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is how we are going to be receiving the 25 consecutive kill streak in Infinite Warfare. Because as we know, with the upcoming title, we will be receiving some form of 25 kill streak. It's how it actually comes about. Now, we have heard a little rumor and a little bit of a leak in regards to this. Apparently, it's meant to be a gravity bomb. This gravity bomb sets off, detonates, everybody starts floating off into space. Because as we know, with Infinite Warfare, we are going to have maps like on the moon, on the Mars, on Earth, everywhere else in between, and we might even be getting low gravity maps as well. So it does sound very plausible that it could be a gravity bomb that gets set off, but it's how it actually works when it gets set off that is going to be quite interesting. Because if we look all the way back to Modern Warfare 2, the old fan favourite particular one, now with that one, once you got your 25 consecutive kills, or say 24 with the hardline perk, it would then activate a 10-second countdown display, which then actually showed on every single player's screen that a nuclear warhead was actually going to fall to the ground. Now, it was totally invisible, you can never actually see it, but the siren would actually sound. Now, as soon as the countdown actually expired, the entire battlefield, everyone else was engulfed in a bright white light. Now, this is exactly the same time that the nuke obviously explodes, and then everything else will then start to appear to actually being destroyed. You know, time starts to go really slow. All vehicles and kill streak wars all explode. All the players die. Everyone else dies, and the game then actually ends. So with that particular one, it actually ends the whole game. You know, it doesn't matter what the score was. It doesn't matter if you're on the losing side of domination or anything else like that. As soon as that nuclear bomb went off, you were the winners straight away. And that one worked out to be a little bit overpowered, because they did change it when they moved forward into Modern Warfare 3. Now, when they moved forward into Modern Warfare 3, they had another one called a m.o.a.b. Now, that one was the Massive Ordnance Air Blast, but it had this little nickname, which was the mother of all bombs. Now, that works exactly the same way. 25 kills, obviously 24 with hardline, but this time when it actually detonated, it didn't actually end the game at all. But what it did do was kill every enemy player that was actually alive at that particular time, and it also had a blast that classed as an e.m.p effect as well. So that was eliminating all enemy equipment, electronics, and point streaks as well. And that wasn't including the ballistic vest. That was the only thing that actually stayed alive. And then in regards to that, also was it was unlike the other point streaks in Modern Warfare 3, and that was that the m.o.a.b streak did not actually reset. So the player that actually set it off would actually need to die to be able to set off another particular one. Then moving on forward into Infinity Ward's last installment of the game, which was Call of Duty Ghosts. In this installment of the game, what they did do was put in a k.e.m strike. This was a kinetic energy missile. Now, it works similar to the way that it worked in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and once it was actually called and we had a 10-second countdown timer, upon reaching 0, it was a brief slow motion scene, and then after that, what it would do was kill all the enemy players simultaneously. Now, on certain maps, it actually changed the terrain, say like Strike Zone. You could actually get a k.e.m strike in one of those field orders in the little blue suitcases, and once it was actually detonated, it completely gave us different lanes and completely changed the way the map actually worked. Also, with the k.e.m strike, it did have an e.m.p effect afterwards. It destroyed everything and made kill streaks and everything else useless for 60 seconds as well. And just like what it did in Modern Warfare 3 as well, is it gave you and the rest of your teammates double XP for the rest of the game. So that was quite good as well. But it's always saying, no matter which particular title, even if we look back to Black Ops 3 at this particular moment in time, we have the nuclear strike there, which is, it doesn't really do too much. You basically just get a medal. But it's what actually people want from Infinity Warfare and what we are hoping to actually get. Now, for me personally, I don't want a game-changing one like Modern Warfare 2. I don't think that the game should end as soon as someone gets it. But on a certain sense, I would like to see something come back which highlights and showcases the fact that you've actually got it. Now, I actually quite like the way that Modern Warfare 3's one works, and I don't even mind the way that the k.e.m strike works in Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't think that the map should change whatsoever. I didn't really like that at all. I much prefer it just to go off. I don't mind the red screens or anything else like that. I mean, it's nice to actually showcase that you've actually got it, you know, just to we set off that like that bomb and whatnot else. I do think that something along those kind of lines would be pretty good. I mean, if we do have that gravity bomb that we've just been hearing about does come about and everybody starts floating off into space, but then after that everybody's respawned, everyone's boots on the ground, starts taking off again and starts playing back as normal. Obviously with the EMP, if that does come back for like 60 seconds, I think that's another fantastic idea as well, and I think that's probably the better way to go. So if Infinity Ward decide to keep on that kind of track, I think that is a better way to go. I do think that you should be able to showcase exactly when you get it. It is a nice feeling when you set off that particular nuclear missile or whatever else that does explode on the screen, and as soon as everything starts slowing down, it does give you that sense of satisfaction. I think that is a much better way to do it, but definitely for me, not to go back to Modern Warfare 2 and make it game-ending tactical nuke. I just don't think that would be the best way to go. But anyway, guys, leave it in the bottom of screen in the comments exactly what you're thinking about this, whether or not you'd actually like to see it going back to the Modern Warfare 2 kind of ways, or whether or not you'd be happy to follow kind of on the same lines as Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty goes. But anyway, guys, leave it all in the comment section below. But coming up on my screen now is my subscribe button. Make sure you're jumping on that, and guys, if you could drop a like for me, it'd be absolutely fantastic. This is Nearly Last, and I'll catch you later.